Welcome to the Global Discussion, a discussion with creatives, leaders, and thinkers. My name is Simon Hodgkins. Today, a real joy to be joined by Matt Lyles. Matt, you're very welcome to the show. I'm looking forward to our conversation very much today. But let's begin, as we like to get the guests to maybe do a bit of an introduction about themselves, who they are, the work they're involved in, just to kick us off. So over to you, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Simon. It's great to see you. Great to see you virtually, at least. I'm thrilled that we've got this chance to finally chat together. But yeah, my background, I have spent the majority of my career, I have spent in marketing and brand management and in customer experience, primarily with FedEx. They were a global company, but happened to have their global headquarters right in Memphis, Tennessee. And so I moved there to work with them and spent the majority of my career there. I got to have a number of dream job roles there through being part of the brand management team and being one of the people that got to lead and define and teach people how to look like, how to sound like, and how to act like FedEx. But my swan song work there was over customer experience, where I got to lead the FedEx brand strategy and lead the effort on how we redefined the FedEx experience, rooting the experience in simplicity. And then how do we teach that? How do we communicate that? How do we train that and instill that into 500,000 employees across the globe? How do we make the experience simple for our customers, and how do we make it simple for each other? I grew such a passion out of that role. I grew such a passion for customer experience and a passion for simplicity in customer experience. So uh, I was able to leave FedEx on good terms and venture out on my own and teach those same lessons to other businesses, teaching businesses, from enterprises to mid-size to small businesses, how to ensure that they're delivering a simple experience to their customers, and how a simple experience really actually is the main catalyst for driving loyalty with your customers. And so that's my focus today, and I do that through consulting, through coaching, and speaking.
Well, Matt, thanks very much indeed for giving us the overview. And look, people the world over are familiar with the FedEx brand. And I think you were there just a touch over about 16 years, which is
That's right.
a great career trajectory. And to end up looking after their sort of global brand management across such a huge team with such a huge global presence, it's really great. And maybe we can dig into a little bit about customer experience today because, as we all know, AI is here today. We've got humans working with AI, but often the differentiator with brands comes down to that experience. How do you feel about a brand?
That's right.
Have you got any sort of examples about that? Now it could be working in FedEx or just global examples where there's people maybe doing things right and doing things wrong because customer experience sounds easy on one hand. Well, we just do a good job. But to really stand out and make a difference and to get that human connection rather than that AI connection, it needs a strategy, right?
It really does, especially when you're talking about where do you place your focus? Do you place your focus in AI? Do you place it in technology, or do you double down on the human experience? And really, today, the brands that are going to win, the ones that are really going to differentiate themselves, are the ones that are able to integrate both AI and the human experience together in the way that makes the best sense for the customer. So there are times where a customer really does need quick answers. A customer needs responsiveness. A customer needs an experience that's going to be smooth and seamless and fast for them that can be delivered by AI. At the same time, there are going to be times where they need that human touch. They need to talk to a human being who knows how to interact with that customer. And we were talking about airlines earlier before the call, and there have been a number of examples, or there've been some examples of uh, companies like Frontier Airlines where they think, oh, you know what? We assume that our customers only want to interact with technology. We're going to double down on that, and we're going to remove the option to actually call and talk to a human being. Well, Frontier Airlines learned their lesson on that pretty quickly. There are times, if you're thinking about the airline uh, ticket buying experience, when you're researching flights, when you're looking to buy a ticket, you don't have to talk to a human. It does help to be able to focus more on that technology experience, to be able to get that ticket and to schedule your flight. But what happens if it's the day before the flight, the day of the flight, that flight gets canceled? You need that problem solved quickly, immediately, and you need to be able to talk to a human very quickly to be able to help solve that problem. So the brands that are going to be able to differentiate themselves are the ones that are going to be able to have that integration of technology and the human element together.
It's interesting when you mention airlines and
Yeah.
customer experience. Obviously, in Europe, a huge carrier would be Ryanair, sort of like the low cost carrier, if you like, to some degree. But they've had
Oh,
huge issues with their baggage recently, changing the size and the shape and the amount of cost that people are incurring, literally at the gate to put their luggage on. And I think Southwest, in your neck of the woods, have experienced something similar.
they have. Oh my goodness. And for years, Southwest, Ryanair have been similar in an aspect that they were the low cost carrier. But Southwest always delivered a great customer experience. They focused on being the low cost carrier, but making it simple for the customer. And they differentiated themselves through a number of different elements that tied them to being the low cost carrier. One of those was free baggage. Bags fly free. In fact, they actually trademarked the statement, two bags fly free. Like that was their trademark that they doubled down on. And we're recording this here, March 12th? It was yesterday. Yesterday, they made the announcement that they are pulling back from that. They are now going to be charging bags going forward. So all that does is just take away one of the things that help differentiate them from other airlines. So there are a few aspects of the customer experience with Southwest that some customers, didn't quite care for. Boarding cattle call type approach, the seating assignments or whatever. And so the customers that were loyal because of the things that Southwest were offering, the low cost carrier approach and the free baggage. So by charging for bags, I understand this. From their perspective, I can understand them wanting to focus on more profitability, especially at this time in 2025. However, I'll be curious to see how much profit they actually get when they lose a number of loyal customers that saw this as one of the core elements of a simple experience that Southwest has always been known for.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah. And when it comes to customer experience, then let's drill down into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, I know that you are part of this board of directors, something about accelerating CX, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think that's a very interesting approach to helping people to maybe understand and grasp and develop their own CX careers and strategies. Because as I mentioned at the top, it's becoming a real differentiator for brands.
It really is. It's becoming a differentiator for brands. At the same time, a number of customer experience CX professionals are finding challenges in showing their leadership and showing the C-suite why it's so important to focus on the customer experience, why that has to be foundational. And so, to help the global CX professionals out there, I am part of the organization CX Accelerator, and it is a global online community that was created and founded and is led by Nate Brown. Nate Brown, who has been in the customer experience, the CX space for longer than I have. If you're in the CX industry, you likely know who Nate Brown is. And so he has done a fantastic job of creating this organization where CX professionals, like not just in the US and not just in a certain few countries, but from all over the world, are able to interact online and help support each other by talking through certain challenges they may be facing, challenges they're facing around ideas for helping garner more loyalty with their customers, challenges they're facing around how they're measuring customer loyalty, and then challenges that they're facing around making the case to their leadership for why CX, why customer experience matters the most, and helping support CX professionals in their career growth. As you start out, a lot of CX professionals may start in the customer support, the customer service area. And then if you're wanting to stay in that lane and go up the chain in management, how do you do that? If you're wanting to venture out into other areas of customer experience, how are you able to do that? And then how are you able to grow in your career and find other, career opportunities? That to me, that's one of the best elements of the CX Accelerator community is how we help each other in understanding how to grow in their current career and find other career opportunities.
That's great, and an interesting point that you raised. That on one hand, some people really get the memo that this is mission critical stuff. On the other hand, some organizations, particularly maybe in a cost cutting environment or where the share prices may be tanking a little bit, that CX may be not getting the attention it deserves, that the quality of the attention to that, and bringing together these sort of great people on this sort of global board, if you like, to help get that message across a little better. I think it's really important at this time, I think, Matt, particularly now.
It is. It is. Good news. There are a couple of different organizations out there that are able to help professionals make that business case for focusing on customer experience. There are a number of organizations that provide surveys, metrics showing like what companies can gain from this when they focus on customer experience. Watermark Consulting, John Pico. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he provides a lot of analysis and reports showing the financial performance, especially as it relates to the stock market, how public companies, when they focus on customer experience, how their stock can perform. Siegel Gale, a global brand agency here in the US, they take it a bit further and they're more in my wheelhouse where they focus more on simplicity in customer experience. Not just those that focus on a great customer experience, but those that are perceived to be simple, those that say that they're delivering a simple customer experience. And they show a lot of different stats around the value of providing simplicity to customers. And some of those are, I love this. 64% of consumers are willing to pay a premium price for a simple experience. 78% of consumers are more likely to recommend a brand to others when it provides a simple experience. And 1600%. When you look, 1600%. When you look at from 2009 through today, the brands that focus on delivering a simple customer experience, they outperform the US stock market by 1600%. So it's stats like those and it's agencies like those that can help professionals to make that case to their leadership that says, this is why it's so important for us to focus on this.
Well, thanks, Matt. And it brings me nicely onto something else I just wanted to get you maybe just to expand on, because that word simplicity, the simple things, I know you've built up quite a library of your own podcast about this very topic, where you talk about, simple brand,
Right.
because we're in this complex world, and sometimes people need a little bit of help to simplify things, to create those simple experiences, you say. But you've had some great discussions on that podcast, haven't you?
Oh, I have. Oh my goodness. So many great leaders, so many great thinkers, thought leaders, book authors. Well, you can see, part of my library behind me. I have been so blessed to be able to be connected with a number of people that focus on customer experience and employee experience as well, because employee experience is tied directly to how the customer experience is delivered.
Very good. And we encourage people obviously to go out and check out those back episodes of your show. So look, between the podcast, the board, the CX work, the consulting, and of course the speaking, I don't want to forget that.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
what are you thinking about in your world over the next 6 to 12 months? What's keeping you up at night? What's on your roadmap? What are you hoping to achieve? How does that work in your world when you think about the next 6 to 12 months, Matt? What's happening?
Yeah, that's really we're at a really interesting time right now, especially here in the U.S. With our current administration that has just started, that has been in place for a couple of months, and we keep hearing a lot around tariffs. And these international tariffs with other countries, and you're look at the same time you're looking at like how might that affect the economy. And there are companies like Southwest who are looking at their financials and are trying to get a future outlook and saying, okay, how do we continue to make ourselves strong in the short term while still focusing on loyal customers in the long term? And they're having to make some hard decisions. Like, I understand companies like Southwest wanting to focus on short-term profitability and make some of those decisions. So you may see companies struggling with how they focus on profitability while negatively affecting the customer experience. So that's something that I'm going to be paying attention to a lot for the next 6 to 12 months or so. And then on the personal side, as these companies are trying to figure this out, I'm working on growing my business in getting in front of these companies, primarily in speaking. I'm looking to grow my speaking business and getting in front of more of these companies to help teach them and show them how the best thing you can do right now is to double down on simplicity in customer experience. And then from there, start making some of the other, other incremental decisions from that.
That sounds like a great year ahead. Last two questions before we run out of time, Matt. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with? Any parting thoughts or anything you want to mention while we have our worldwide audience with us today? And secondly, and really importantly, to your
Sure.
previous point, if somebody wants to book you for a speaking gig, if somebody wants to check out more about the work that you're doing, where's the best place to point them to at this moment in time?
Yeah, absolutely. As far as parting thoughts, when we talk about customer experience, a lot of people here, well, we want to make sure that we're delivering an outstanding customer experience, a remarkable customer experience. We want to focus on delivering amazing moments, wow moments, magic moments, or even unreasonable hospitality. And yes, in your customer experience, you should be looking to deliver on those types of moments. However, you should not do that until you have simplicity at the foundation of your customer experience. If your customer experience is not simple already, then any attempt to focus on delivering those amazing wow magic moments are really going to fall flat for you. So make sure that you put simplicity in the foundation of your customer experience. And if anyone would like to hear more about me, if anyone would like to listen to the Simple Brand podcast or learn more about me or learn more about how I can help their company through speaking engagements, one of the best places they can go to is mattlyles.com/simple playbook. From there, they can download my guide that shows them the behaviors that it takes for all of your employees from the front line all the way to the C suite to deliver a simple experience to your customers.
Well, that brings us nicely to the end of this episode of the Global Discussion. I want to thank everybody who's watching or listening to this episode around the world. I'm going to encourage you to like, subscribe, do everything I need you to do to help support the global discussion. But go and check out Matt's link. Go and check out that sort of guide that he's referencing there. There's a ton of great content, and reach out to Matt because if you're thinking about simplifying and really getting into the CX space, there's no better person. So, look, hopefully you'll join me back here for some more global discussions with creatives, leaders, and thinkers, just like Matt. But Matt, thanks for being on the show. Great to catch up with you today.
Simon, thank you so much. I was so happy to be here.